connections and values are tied to the results advocacy. So literally the whole point of the first conversation is to learn about them. And then you're going to tell them a little bit about results and how they can get plugged in. So the first goal of this conversation is getting to know them and forming a human connection. So we give you, let me flag this by saying this is not a script. Do not feel pressure to say this word for word. This is just a guide. What you're trying to discover is what's in this other column, the bulleted column. So at the beginning of the conversation, you're trying to find out more about their background and their interests, why they choose to focus on anti-poverty issues. They might have a really impactful personal story. We need to know that. We need to know what brought them to this advocacy, because when they have a lobby meeting, we want them to be able to tie that into that. If they have a real strong connection to homelessness, that might be an issue that they want to focus on in their media. We should know that. That might be something they want to focus on in their lobby meetings. We should know that so that we can keep their fire for advocacy going. And that's going to be how we not only get people in, but retain them and grow our base, because we're a grassroots organization. The size of our voice, or the volume of our voice rather, matters. So the whole first goal, we're going to spend about 10 minutes in these conversations just learning about them. And then we're going to give them a little bit more about our group's involvement in the community. A lot of times people want to know, yes, these are your policy areas, but what is your group doing? Have you had a meeting with the local office yet? What was the outcome of that? Who have y'all partnered with in your area? Have you all done tabling events? They want to know what you're doing in a practical way. So just share a little bit about what y'all have been up to as a group. And then we're going to tell them about our relationships with Congress and the media. So what offices are you connected to and why? Because sometimes oftentimes people are going to come to results for that reason. So it's helpful in that first conversation to let them know what we've already done, because they know that they will be lending their voice to something that's already in motion, and that can give more momentum on their end. And then lastly, we're going to share group logistics and then answer questions. A lot of time we just go straight into that. We meet on this day at this time. I'll send you the Zoom link. Show up. People are busy. People are tired. I know if somebody told me that, I probably wouldn't be there. But if they showed interest in me as a person, and I said I care deeply about food insecurity, and I feel deeply about people in the year 2025 living in food deserts. If I told somebody that during this conversation, and then they remembered that, and during an upcoming lobby meeting, they said, Erin cares deeply about this. I want her to talk about this issue with SNAP in our upcoming meeting. Or Erin, there's a media push this year. I know that this is something that you're passionate about. This media action can tie into that. That keeps people at the table. I would be motivated by something like that. So we're going to make sure that they know the group logistics after we have gone through all that. And then next steps, obviously, follow up. So relational organizing and one-on-one conversations, we have tried to make it as easy as possible and as impactful as possible with this guide. But how do we get them there, right? That handout I just went over is the relational organizing piece. It is relational. That's the main word. We have to relate to them. But how do we handle the one-on-one conversations in real time, and what does that look like? So how do you have an effective one-on-one conversation? We've already gone through the epic message earlier today, but these are 5 components that can really elevate a conversation from just an epic message and a one-on-one conversation to something that's really impactful. So I want y'all to think about a really impactful one-on-one conversation that y'all have had, or maybe you can think about the invitation that brought you to results in the first place. And although there aren't strict guidelines for those conversations, there are 5 different components that can really, like I said, elevate that from a baseline scripted conversation to one that's really impactful. And the first one is attention. So what grabbed your attention about that individual or organization. Is everything okay?
You're good.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Is that what that noise was a minute ago? Oh, thank you. What grabbed your attention about that organization or that individual? So what attention means is what grabbed your attention about them? What made you think that they would be a good advocate for this organization? Did you see them at a rally or a community event? Did they do a Facebook post that aligns with our values? Were you at a book tour? This happened to me one time. I was at a book event, a book signing, and somebody in the audience said something that I thought aligned with our values, so I connected with them afterwards. So what got your attention about them and made you think they might be interested in results advocacy? So the second thing is interest. So I might have made some assumptions about that person when they got my attention. I might have assumed that they're interested in these issues for this reason. So I'm going to try in this conversation to figure out what their actual interests are. And then exploration. I'm going to ask good open-ended questions to figure out more about their why. And then we're going to have an exchange. Once we have established or figured out that we have some shared values, we're going to connect on those things. And then we're going to close it with a good call to action, because that's what we always do, whether we're meeting with Congress or a fellow individual. The call to action is, would you be interested in attending a results event? Again, I could have advanced to this slide sooner. This is literally everything I just said. I am not used to managing my own slides, if y'all cannot tell. I am horrible at it. So we are about to do a quick role play, because here at Results in this building, we love a good role play. Joanna? So as we are going through this role play, I'm going to go back to this slide, and I want y'all to keep your ears open for these 5 parts: attention, interest, exploration, exchange, and commitment in this role play that we're about to do. And rather than making it kind of easy like we did for the epic message, because everybody's not going to say yes, it's not realistic. This one, somebody, Joanna, is going to have to do a little bit of work. Because I'm not going to give an automatic yes, because that's the real world. People are busy, they're tired. Everybody's not going to say, sign me up today. So.
All right, so the background is that we met at a hunger event, an anti-hunger event. We hit it off, and we've made plans to reconnect after that. So, hey, Erlen, thanks for meeting with me today. I'm really glad we have this time to connect. I really, really enjoyed meeting you at the Feeding Texas event. And your passion for helping your neighbors and really addressing hunger really came through. So I'm really glad that we can have this time together.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me, Joanna. And that was a really amazing event. I don't always have a lot of time to make it to events like that, even though I would love to. But I just feel like right now I should be doing more. It's just that sometimes I just feel like it doesn't pay off. I don't see any results from all of this effort.
Oh, I feel that. I tell you what, I feel like I'm in the same boat. And we're all asking the same question, does anything we do really change? I have to ask you, though, is there something in particular that's been weighing on you more than others?
Right now, I think it's just a total disregard for human life. It seems like everywhere I turn, something is being cut that will put millions of lives at risk. Specifically right now, what's hitting me hardest is the support for people whose health may be negatively affected by these. Maybe it's because of SNAP, the cut for Medicare. I just feel like underserved populations are being even more underserved right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. I feel that too, thank you. Wait, is this on? Can you hear me? Okay, now we can. Okay.
Sorry.
I really feel that, a year or so ago, the area refused summer EBT money, if you recall. And there were a lot of kids. This was money that was going to help feed kids during the summer. And, they walked right away from it. So I feel like what's happened in the last year has really compounded the problem. And it's awful. It's like they're not even pretending to care anymore. So that's really why I decided to become an advocate and what keeps me in advocacy. I'm angry, but I feel like with results, I have an outlet so that I'm not just angry all the time. I have a way to translate my passion into something that is really transformative. So in this group, it's just a network of everyday people like you and me who care about things, and we want to push Congress to act on poverty, from food insecurity, like you and I care about, to housing, to child tax credits, even global issues.
Yeah, so that sounds really amazing. I love that you are a part. There we go. I love that. Did y'all miss the whole thing? I see nods. Should we start from the beginning? I hear no's. Okay. Keep going. Okay.
Keep going. All right.
Sorry about that, y'all. My voice does not carry naturally. I'm so glad that you're a part of an organization like that. That sounds really, really amazing. So how much time does that take?
Oh, gosh, I get being busy, and I know how people will say, well, like, I just don't have the time, but being in community and being part of a group helps to change that for me. And it can be anywhere. We get together once a month for our group meeting, and then, we take action. We write letters to the editor, and really depends on your schedule. If you have 5 minutes a month or 5 hours a week, you got time. There's a way for you to take action with results, and you can take it in community with other people.
Yeah, I'm just not sure right now. I want to help, but I've been so discouraged lately, and like nothing we do matters. I'm just not ready to jump into anything right now.
I understand that. It's a big decision, and that's totally fair. But thank you so much for what you are doing. It does take a lot to make a difference, and it takes a lot out of us too, but you're sticking and you're hanging in with it, and that's really wonderful. So even if you don't feel quite ready yet, I'm really glad that we've made this connection.
Yeah, so I would love it if you could get my contact information and let me know when an upcoming event is. I'm not saying that I'm in, but I'm not out either. So I would love for you to just keep me in the loop.
Oh gosh, that's more than enough. And thank you so much. I'm going to follow up after the upcoming holiday, Labor Day. I'm just pretty busy till then, and our group is going to meet right after then. So maybe we can just catch up after then. We can, see what we've each been up to, and then, kind of vent a little bit about how heavy the world feels, but what we're doing about it. That can help us look forward, to everything coming forward.
Thank you. I would love that.
Thank you.
Yes. Sorry y'all missed.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask y'all to pick out those parts in the conversation, but being that possibly half of the group didn't hear over half of the conversation. Okay. Before we hop into those parts, though, I just want to highlight some key things in that conversation. She shared how I got her attention in the first place and why she thought I would be interested. She asked me open-ended questions to find out more about my interests. And then she explored, what other things are you interested in? She kind of touched on if she thought, or maybe if I was completely closed off to the idea of joining the organization or not. And then we talked about shared values. And one of the things that Joanna did in that conversation that was really key is acknowledging the hesitance. She acknowledged that I was tired. She acknowledged what I said. And one of the last things she said, I know you're frustrated, or acknowledge frustration. The group is too. And we're turning that frustration into action. And that's a real thing. And that's the most powerful thing that I think we can give people right now. Times are hard. People are discouraged and they're tired. Let's take that and turn it into something actionable. And that is exactly what results groups come together to do. And then she made a commitment. And I said no. But like I mentioned earlier, she has my contact information now to add to the warm leads list. So she is going to keep me in the loop. So as we were going through that, anybody want to tell us what was the attention part of the conversation? No. Alexis? Yes, she said we met at an event, the hunger event, and she liked what I said. So that's how I got her attention. Anybody want to share about the interest page? Did anybody catch what that was? No? The value of human life. Yes, that is why I'm interested in this. What about exploration? Can anybody remember one of the questions that she asked me to explore what my interests were? Okay, this is the post-lunch crowd. It's fine. What is one of the shared values that she pointed out in the conversation? Okay, now it's time to do role play on your own, and y'all will remember these conversations, I am sure, because you will be involved. So it's time to role play. So y'all are going to have a conversation. These role play pairs are going to have 3 people. So they're going to have, one person is going to be the results volunteer, so the one approaching. The other person is going to be the community member. And then the third person is just going to be an observer, because sometimes you can learn a lot just by observing somebody else's conversation. So those are the 3 people. So going back to something Alexis said earlier, if you have consistently been a 2, and these other conversations, I challenge you to be the results volunteer. So we're going to get into groups of 3. And then when you have that one-on-one conversation, use those 5 steps that we just went through: attention, interest, exploration, exchange, and commitment. We're going to do 2 rounds. Each round will be 3 to 5 minutes. I'll come up here and tell us when it's time to switch. And don't say yes immediately. Think about some responses that you actually get from people when you invite them to join the movement, and use those, because we need to think through how we can, push past those valid reasons of being hesitant, and how we can meet those needs while also inviting them into something that we know makes a difference. And then we're going to take a few minutes to debrief and share with the group. So we are about to start. Oh, go ahead, Alexis. Yes, love it. Did everybody hear her? Okay. All right, so let's break into groups now and start having this role play.